As a non-American, I still found myself immersed in the same cartoons as any typical American kid 15 years ago or so. The thing about childhood cartoons is that years later, we often forget or never even know how they ended. I've rewatched the endings of almost 20 beloved cartoons from our childhood, and I'll tell you all about them today. So let's dive right into it. Let's start with Phineas and Ferb. The last day of summer episode is technically the finale, but it's all just the usual fun stuff. The real emotional goodbye happens 5 episodes earlier in Act Your Age. This is where things get crazy. 10 years later, Phineas is speaking colleges and finally realizes that Isabella has been crushing on him forever. Ferb and Vanessa drag Phineas to Isabella before she leaves town. And boom, they finally confess their feelings and start dating. Of course, Doof is being his hilarious self, having a total midlife crisis and building a midlife crisisinator. Classic Doof. So yeah, that's how it ends. Kim Possible. In the last episode, everyone, including Kim, the gang, and even Draken and Shigo, teams up to take down the bad guy and save the Earth. After that, it's graduation time. Kim and the others finish school. Draken gets a medal for saving the world and decides to turn his life around. But the best part, after the beach party, Ron finally mans up and kisses Kim in her car. We all knew it was coming. Courage the Cowardly Dog. The wiki might tell you that the cartoon's ending was a special episode called The Fog of Courage, but that came out way later, in 2014. The true finale, the one from 2002, is an episode called Perfect. And it gets pretty weird. So Courage has this creepy teacher who's obsessed with making him, well, perfect. It drives Courage crazy, but then he learns to embrace his own flaws and totally melts the perfectionist teacher. We end with the family having dinner and it's pretty normal, except for the teacher's voice whispering perfect off-screen. Kinda creepy, right? As Told by Ginger ends like this. Ginger's mom finally finds love and gets her happy ever after. Meanwhile, Ginger's own relationship with Orion gets serious. Now, Courtney's world is getting turned upside down. Her death arrest throws their family into chaos. They lose everything and end up moving to Ginger's house. However, Ginger and her family move to the neighborhood that Courtney's family had previously lived in. It's quite an interesting ending. Hey Arnold. It ends with the film called The Jungle Movie, which finally answers the burning question: what happened to Arnold's parents? The whole gang heads off on a wild adventure to solve the mystery, and so Arnold is finally reunited with his parents. It's a super heartwarming moment. But the best part, Helga finally confesses her feelings for Arnold and they kiss. We've been waiting for this forever. Now, We Bare Bears ending tells 2 big stories in one. First is the adorable origin story of how the baby bears met. Super cute. Then we jump to the adult bears causing their typical lovable chaos. So in this one, they had to run for Canada. Things get wild. They have a bunch of crazy adventures, get captured, and almost get deported. But Grizzly pulls off an escape, frees a bunch of captive bears, and leads them through a raging forest fire. This turns the bears into total heroes, and they end up back home, finally welcomed by the whole city. Now, the last season of regular show takes us to space, where Pops faces off against his evil twin, Anti-Pops. To save the universe and his friends, Pops makes the ultimate sacrifice, taking down Anti-Pops in a way that costs him his own life. Back on Earth, everyone raises a monument to honor Pops, and life continues. We get a flash forward 25 years into the future and see where everyone ended up. Benson and Pam still run the park with Skips. Rigby and Eileen have many kids, just like Muscleman and Starla. High Five and Celia are a couple, and Mordecai is living his dream as a famous artist with his bad wife. The whole gang comes together in the park to remember the good old days. Danny Phantom. Danny ditches his ghost half for a normal life, but then Vlad ruins everything with some Earth-destroying asteroid. Danny gets his ghost powers back, teams up with the Ghost Zone crew, and saves the day. He finally tells the world his secret, gets the girl, Sam, and becomes a total hero. Vlad ends up alone in space, which serves him right. Angry Beavers. Okay, so Angry Beavers didn't get a proper ending because it was cancelled. But the creators were like, screw it, and made a finale that totally trolls the network and cartoon industry. Norbert gets a letter saying they're done, and they start vanishing. It turns out that Norbert always knew there were cartoons, but never told Daggett because, well, it's Daggett. Quite messed up, right? Adventure time. Jump 1000 years into the future with the Come Along With Me finale. Bimo became king after the crazy gum war. We meet Shermie and Beth, who find Finn's robot arm and ask Bimo to spill the tea on what happened. It's all about the war with Bubbles' gum uncle and some freaky thing called Gulp. We even get to see where everyone ended up. Beth and Shermie are finding the remained Finn sword. Epic. My Life as a Teenage Robot is on hold. There are only 3 seasons for now. It ends with Jenny beating down her psycho robot sister after some remote control drama. Who knows, maybe we'll see season 4 and 5 someday. CatDog also has no real ending. The last episode is all about Doug finding out that meat comes from animals. He freaks out, refuses to eat anything, and almost eats Cat in a hunger-fueled nightmare. Things get weird when some plants sprout meat trees. Yeah. Pokemon. After 25 years, Ash finally becomes the Pokemon World Champion in Pokemon Ultimate Journeys. He beats Leon, the Galar Champ, in a crazy final battle. Dreams do come true. The Fairly Oddparents. There is no proper finale for this cartoon either. It ends with Timmy and Chloe doing the regular stuff. Lame. Steven Universe. Steven's story gets 2 finales. Steven Universe wraps up with him going on a road trip to find himself. Then Steven Universe Future shows him leaving Beach City. The Crystal Gems finally admit they're just trying to be strong for him. And Steven leaves knowing the gems will always be there. Sweet, if a bit sad. Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy got cancelled, so their finale's a bit of a mess. Ren goes to heaven and learns to be nice. Back on Earth, he finally admits to stealing from Stimpy and gives him a ton of cash. Stimpy's rich, Ren's jealous. And drama goes on. Ren almost lets Stimpy choke, then saves him. It's sweet, kinda. But then Ren takes Stimpy's stuff anyway, and they both cry. Yep, that's Ren and Stimpy. The Amazing World of Gumball. Principal Brown loses it when Superintendent Evil, who is actually Rap in disguise, threatens to make Elmer Junior High totally boring. Gumball and Darwin freaks out when their friends start turning into humans. They pull out all the crazy tricks to get their weirdness back. They beat Rob and win. Just like that, the show is over. DuckTales. The last DuckTales episode gets wild with a golden goose that turns everything to gold. It's almost the end of the world, but Scrooge saves the day, as always. And that's a wrap for the show. Jackie Chan Adventures. The final Jackie Chan Adventures episode, The Powers That Be, is epic. Drago gets all the Demon Chi powers and starts summoning his demon crew. Section 13 is in serious trouble, so they team up with everyone they can. And they win. So that's it for today's video. If you like this video and want to see the second part, like and comment. See ya!